Hey guys, TJ here. As you may have noticed, if you watched the video that we uploaded yesterday, it kind of froze at 2 minutes and does not continue to play. So I'm re-uploading it. We're gonna cut right to the chase. I'm gonna cut right to when we start talking about our teams. So not a normal intro this week. We'll be hopefully back to normal next week without technical difficulties. So yeah, so here it is. Hope you enjoy this new episode without any glitches or issues. And hope you guys hope it didn't annoy you too much. It annoyed me a lot because I had to take it down and re-upload it and yada yada yada. But yeah, so now I'll present the video that you came here for and enjoy.
All right. All right. So basically, my whole idea was to. So I was thinking about MLB. You know, it's all I'm thinking about lately because how much I miss it and how much I'm not going to be able to play. We're not going to be able to play baseball at all this year either.
That's
probably.
Dude, that's on my mind like nothing else. Like I'm
I
so mad.
like.
I just do batting gloves. Remember my new batting gloves?
Yeah, I bought new batting gloves too. Where are you going? Robert has left the chat.
No, I'm pissed now. I'm actually pissed. Look at these.
Oh, he's showing off his Jack's batting gloves.
These things are so nice. They have this cool little web shit. Like I don't even know what this is, but I love it. And like these things are nice. Don't even gonna use them. Can't even go to the batting cages. I have to go to the fucking park.
For the people that are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, he's showing off Jack's batting gloves with the nice webbing.
Yeah,
they're super nice. They're super nice gloves.
Use video. They're these batting gloves, and they have this webbing on one of the hands in between the thumb and the index finger that basically it's supposed to give you a proper grip on the bat. I don't know how good it works. I just want it for like the novelty of it and for like almost like the collectorness of it because they're just nice and I wanted them. So my girlfriend bought them for me. It was pretty sick.
Yeah,
I use them.
I bought new batting gloves too. I bought a new ball bag.
Yeah.
I got a new bat at the end of last year that I used for one tournament. Yeah. And I've never been able to use it since, and I won't be able to use it this year either.
So annoying.
I was so pumped because it's a bat with a lot of pop, and
that bat looks so good. I love that bat, and yeah, it's just.
I was like, can't use it.
No Stickers tournament, probably.
What?
Probably no Stickers tournament.
Oh God, no! Oh no, that's in May. That's not happening.
I know. That's unlucky, man. I was so hyped for that.
Yeah, I love that tournament.
For people that don't know, it's a tournament every year for sick kids. Play softball. That's it. And we do it every year. Okay.
Yeah. It's just a baseball tournament for sick kids, you know. We try to have fun, raise money, you know the deal. Normal charity tournament.
Charities, yeah.
So yeah, I was thinking about baseball, and then I saw a post on the MLB posts about like players putting together their all-time lineup, like putting together, one starting pitcher and their all-time lineup to win like a World Series. Like, who would you want to win a game? And I'm like, it got me thinking. I'm like, why don't we do that?
Yeah.
I've watched baseball my whole life. I know a good, decent history. You've watched baseball your entire life, and you're starting to get more into the history of it. And I'm like, oh well, why don't we discuss that? That'd be a great talking point. And I'm really interested to hear yours because we've never really talked about that. Like, we've never really sat down and talked about that. I mean, we've discussed players, their pros and cons, and why we like them. And
yeah, we talk baseball like all the time.
Yeah. So, but we've never actually like sat down and made a list. I've made a list like this before in grade 6. It's a little updated.
Yeah, for sure.
And I decided to do something fun with it. I'll introduce that in a little while. But I want to get to our teams first and start the discussion here. And for anybody listening at home, if you have a list that you've thought of, or like a list you've prepared, or you've ever thought of it, send it into our website, send it into our email, which is on our website. It's ourfavoritestuff@hotmail.com. Or comment it down below, send us it, because you could be incorporated in what we're going to do, which is really fun. Or even I'll talk about it on the next podcast, because this might be a 2-part episode kind of thing with what I'm going to do.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But again, we'll talk about that later. So Robert's super excited for
show my team, yes.
Yeah,
People on YouTube are going to have a good time. People on the other stuff is going to have fun, but YouTube, you're going to have fun if you're on YouTube.
Well, if there's any, Robert's told me he's prepared an image.
an image. It's a visual representation.
Which I'll post on our website after this, so that people listening on Apple Podcasts, you can click on over there,
and then you can go through it with me.
Yeah, and you'll you can open the image, and then here's a little fun little game. Pause it now. Go open the image, and then resume the episode.
Yeah, go open the image. And when I start talking about it, just go along with me.
All right, so here's how we're gonna do it. So how I've asked you to prepare the team. I've asked you to prepare the team 1 through 9 batting style. The rules are there's no DH. I love the I have no problem with the DH.
For this stuff, for this it seems it's better.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a better time because then you can maybe factor in a pitcher's hitting ability. Into your decision. And past or present players. It's basically any player that's played an MLB game.
Present players were doing their prime of their career.
Yeah, their prime of their career. So if you've got a guy that's like 40 years old right now, still playing the MLB, then
like our Pujols, for example.
Yeah,
they're in prime, not now. Obviously.
Yeah, his prime where he was the big red machine. All right, so Robert, since he's excited, wants to go first.
Okay.
So here's how we're gonna do it, Robert. Let's do it around the diamond style. So catcher first, second, third, shortstop, left, center, right, and then afterwards we'll reveal how we set it up in the lineup.
Oh, my lineup's already on the thing. I have it all visualized out. I can let me show you. Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Let me show you. What? Fine. No, I'll come back. What's going on?
So just read it off, like read catcher like that, and then reveal the lineup after.
But I have a picture. Fine, whatever. Don't even care. All right. It's a picture, dude. Like,
I don't know, man.
Just let me do it. Just let me do it for the fun of it.
All right. As long as you make it audio appealing for the people not watching on YouTube as well.
I also do my entire screen. Wait, so you see yourself, right? Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I made the diamond. So yeah, if people don't know, it's like I just made a little diamond picture, and then I put everyone down on it. So catcher, I have Buster Posey. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Catchers, not a big selection. Buster Posey, it's more just I like him. I mean, there might be someone better, but it's Buster goddamn Posey. I like him. Okay, shut up. This one, I don't know. I kind of half-assed that one. But like first base, now if our Pujols, it's our Pujols, right? He will hit the ball 400 feet to center field when he feels like it, or when he did feel like it, I guess. Not so much anymore.
He still hit 23 last year. He hit 23 home runs last year.
Yeah, but back when he was hitting like 40 a year at one point for like 5 years straight.
It was funny. A video actually resurfaced the other day about him when he was young and coming into the league. And they asked him, they're like, "What's your biggest pro as a player?" And he started laughing. He said, "I don't know, hitting the ball."
That's shit. So second base after that, I have Dustin Pedroia. Laser show. The man's insane.
The laser show was unreal.
Yeah. For second base, it's pretty much a no-brainer for me, to be honest. I was already thinking of him. Good average, decent bit of home runs, on base.
His defense was unreal too.
Is phenomenal. Just a 5-tool player.
And he's still a current player. He's just got super.
Oh yeah, he's
injury issues. I think he played like 5 games last year.
Yeah,
I think he played only half the season the year before that. He hasn't been healthy, and I think that will be the end of his career eventually. I think he'll be done, but we'll see.
No, he has to retire
soon. I think he should take this year off to either really try to get healthy or just call it quits.
Yeah, he's had a good career though. There's no shame in him retiring.
Oh no! If he retires now,
he's got MVP. He's got other stuff. The man's fine. So then on the shortstop, I have Derek Jeter, just put in the Hall of Fame. What?
The captain.
I didn't know they called him that, but
yeah.
He's here. The same thing basically, just a 5-tool player. You know what I mean? He can hit the ball really well. Defense is great. Average, home runs, on base. Just an all-around player, but you can tell by his super high Hall of Fame vote.
He hit the highest by any position player, 99.7%.
Yeah, second highest ever. It's unreal. He's a no-brainer for me too. Third base, I actually had to go a bit in. Third base, I was conflicted. It was either Chipper Jones or Alex Rodriguez, and I went Alex Rodriguez.
Solid choices.
Yeah, Chipper Jones. Because I was looking at the stats. Chipper Jones's average was higher. His on base was higher by 20 points. Because I look more at on base than average because factoring in walks and all that.
A little Moneyball.
But yeah, because Moneyball taught me when I read it. But he had less home runs, and I felt like, and less RBIs and stuff.
And it's A-Rod, man.
Yeah, and A-Rod, I felt like the weight it mattered more what A-Rod had over Chipper Jones because the average was very close as well. So yeah, and then you said we go to right field or left field?
I go left field.
Left field? Okay, left field I have Barry Bonds.
Because this one's going to get a lot of hate.
It's Barry Bonds. I
already think A-Rod might have already got a lot of hate, but yeah,
no, here's what I was saying. I was talking to my friends, and I was like, my team has to win. 2 of my guys on my team were roided out. Like, no one said we couldn't use roids in our own league. So, they're going off. Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs 1 year. If he's not in left field, I don't know who is in left field.
And Barry Bonds, it wasn't just... Go ahead.
No. I was just talking about he also got walked. Like, it was his career. Like, the man, if he didn't hit it out of the park, he was getting walked. Did you know there was, like, I think it was, like, upwards of 5 times in his career, they walked him with bases loaded?
No way, really? I knew it once.
That's how scared they got this guy.
That's insane.
Or maybe it wasn't 5. Maybe it was less than that. I forget.
But
either way,
still,
if you ever walk a guy with bases loaded, that's how terrifying he is. There's one time, 2 out, they're up by 2 runs, the other team. They walk in with bases loaded to get the game to a 1-run deficit. The next guy lines out and they win off of it.
Yeah, because like he was terrifying. I remember.
Oh, yeah.
He was still an animal. I remember watching on the highlights him setting the all-time home run record, and it was just a monster shot to right center field. There was a no-doubter, an absolute no-doubter, and he. Actually, I think that's the one for people who can't really see. I'm pretty sure that's the image you've chose with that time that he hit it.
Yeah,
really finished photo. Judging by the size of him and his he just looks like a bigger guy because he gained a lot of weight near the end of his career. But no, he was just a monster, like a bat on ball, you want to talk about like swing percentage, like bat on ball, unreal. The guy like never swung and missed. Yeah,
he was very, very disciplined. As slugger should be. If you're going to be a slugger like him, if you're not going to bat for average for home runs, if you don't have discipline, you're not going to make it. You have to know when to take a strike, and you know what I mean, and when to swing at good strikes because there's bad strikes definitely, and he knew that. I remember I was watching a video and they ran a simulation as if Barry Bonds never swung the bat in a game, but the pitcher never knew he was going to swing the bat. Like they always thought he would swing, but he never did. His on base percentage was 1 point higher than when he did swing the bat. That's how often they walked him. That's hilarious. Terrifying. They shot his pants. They shot their pants when he walked up to the plate. Anyway, that's enough of him. He was on steroids though, so you could probably credit some of the hitting the ball 4 million feet to that. But he still was a good player.
Yeah.
Then center field, sure. Mike Trout. It's Mike Trout. The man's the best in the MLB right now.
There's nothing else you could say about Mike Trout.
5-tool player.
Mike Trout.
Yeah, he's amazing defense. Stuff like probably at least top 5 in the league center fielder defense. That's being not even that generous to him. Contact, great. You got a good bat on ball. On base is really good. He can hit the ball out, really good. Hit upwards of 30 home runs on the regular. He's fast. He's just made for baseball. This guy. This is just. If you only think of baseball, I think of Mike Trout. He looks like baseball.
He's the Connor McDavid of baseball. I would say that's the best comparison I could say to anybody else looking at any other sport, because baseball doesn't get the fame, the press, as much as hockey does.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there's a lot more non-sports people out there who know where Connor McDavid is. Than Mike Trout, right? But that's the best comparison. Or even if you want to say Sidney Crosby, Mike Trout is.
I think McDavid's better though. I'm thinking about it because Mike Trout's not old by any means. He's young.
27.
He's not even he's probably a year or 2 off the peak of his career. This man,
he's played 9 seasons and he's already an 8-time All-Star.
Yeah, he's not going to stop. He's unreal.
He
I feel like even though he's the best, he's still very underrated. People don't talk about him enough, I find.
I don't understand.
I think it's because he doesn't have the attitude. If you look at someone like Bryce Harper, who isn't as good as Mike Trout in any way, but he has the attitude like he is, people get a lot of attention to him. Which is Bryce Harper's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's awesome. But since he has that attitude, people pay more attention. Mike Trout's a very humble guy.
You would never know he's good.
No.
Ever.
He's very, calm, collected. I mean, he'll get excited and stuff. Of course, everyone does. But he's not obnoxious or rude. It's a nice guy, so that's why he doesn't get as much attention, I find, which
And
is a
his
shame.
swing, like there's a lot of talk for us Blue Jay fans. The big thing about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is that when they say he always puts the ball in play hard, like everything off his bat's like 100 miles an hour. You want to talk about putting the ball in play hard? Mike Trout does that. Everything he hits is hard.
Yeah.
Like, he has hard ground outs, hard flyouts. Like he's just hard. It's just a scary velocity.
He's an insane player. All right, then on the right field, I have Vladimir Guerrero because he's
senior.
Amazing. Yeah, senior. Want to put junior out there though? Yeah, I guess some people wouldn't know he played right field if you don't know baseball as well. Yeah, right field, Vladimir Guerrero, senior, not the one that plays for the Blue Jays.
He played both corners. He played left and right.
Yeah, I think the website said right, and I was like, whatever, good enough. I couldn't find him in an Expos thing, but I found stuff.
Which is kind of when he was at the peak of his career.
Yeah, so I don't know why I had a hard time. Because I saw the Orioles one, I searched up a picture for him Expos, and I got like really bad ones. And when you search up Vladimir Guerrero, half of it's junior now. And I'm like, I typed in Vladimir Guerrero senior, and it's just a bunch of pictures of him with junior. And I'm like, what? Is his legacy over? Like,
disrespect the man.
This man was so good. Either way, this man he's like the opposite of like what Barry Bonds was. Barry Bonds was, know how to take a strike. Vladimir Guerrero just swung the bat. He didn't care. If you threw the ball in his own direction, he's like, yeah, no, it's a single because I say so. Over my head, yeah, I don't care. At my ankles, just fuck you, basically. The guy's nuts.
No, he was again. You want to talk about a bat on ball monster?
Dude, God.
You had to throw it either at him or in the stands to give a 0% chance of him making contact because he was going to make contact.
He was insane.
He hit a ball that bounced twice. The ball bounced first, and he made it. Dude, he got a base hit on both of them.
Bruh.
Like he must have been a manager's nightmare.
Oh yeah.
They're like, stop swinging the bat, and he's like, "What? I'm batting 350." But they go see.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know how he did it. No batting gloves. He sported the no batting gloves plus pine tar combination.
Oh my.
Like a super old school, and yeah, the guy, and he was a great fielder. Had a electrifying arm. Like nobody ran on Vladimir Guerrero.
So I was already thinking of him too. The only ones I ever had to think about was like first base. It was him or was Pujols or Ortiz, and I decided on Pujols just based on numbers.
Yeah.
Third base, A-Rod or Chipper Jones. I picked A-Rod, very close, really close. And that's already pretty much had figured out.
What about pitcher, my friend?
Pitcher. Pitcher. Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan's he's really good. His numbers are really good.
Yeah, one of the top 5 pitchers of all time for me. He was. I mean, a lot of his numbers I think are a little slanted just because of how long he pitched. He pitched for a fucking millennium.
Yeah,
the guy pitched till he was like 46, didn't he, or something like that?
Mm-hmm. And you can see his stats do kind of fall off, but actually it's a lot more consistent than you'd imagine. Because I was looking at his later years, you can tell the ERA goes up a little bit, the WHIP goes up a little bit. He didn't have I think he had like 1 year where his WHIP was over 1.5. I was looking at his stats.
Did you say only 1 year?
No, only 1 year it was over 1.5. I think it was 1.56 or something.
Oh my god.
I think if I remember correctly. One second. Oh wait, you guys can see my screen. I'll do it later.
That's fine. You can just figure it out. Oh, okay.
Whatever. No, I'm confident in what I said. My memory's impeccable.
All right, so that's your lineup. Now run us through your batting lineup exactly how you have it laid out, and kind of give an explanation on why.
So first, Vladimir Guerrero. I'm a strong believer in the setup of first is very very good contact, and this is steam with though, and speed. I didn't have like anyone that was like super fast. I mean, I think Vladimir Guerrero was fairly fast. I was talking about Mike Trout first, so I know it's fast. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I know he can hit the ball really well, no matter where it is. Contact for me is just instant first if you have unreal contact. Second is when for me you start to move into more of a mix between contact and power, but you're still mostly contact centered.
I think number 2 is clutch, and that's the best way to describe Derek Jeter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Derek Jeter was always 2 spots for me. 3, to me, is best all around. And Mike Trout, as I went on about, 5-tool player in every sense of the word. He has every part of the sport that makes you good, so he's 3rd. 4th, power is for me cleanup. Barry Bonds, 73 home runs a year. don't have to say anything more than that, I think. 5 to me is usually I put my second best contact hitter there. That's what I usually do. But I didn't want to see our Pujols go anywhere lower than 5. So I kind of threw my formula out the window and put him 5th, just out of like, I was like, how have I not put Pujols in yet? 6, A-Rod, basically the same reason. 7, Pedroia, which Pedroia being 7th, it's like mind blowing how good this team. Posey 8th.
Again,
because,
super great contact.
Yeah. Yeah, Posey 8th because, I don't know, just he's the worst of the best, I guess. He's not that he's bad, just look at everyone else on the team.
Yeah.
And then Nolan Ryan 9th because he's the pitcher. And his batting wasn't that remarkable.
Yeah, solid
So,
lineup, dude. Solid lineup.
This
You got a good mix.
diagram is my pride. If you're not seeing it, please, just at one point go look at it. This was work.
Yeah, so I'll upload it on the website after this for the people who aren't watching on YouTube right now. But just a quick little definition of it. It's basically, if you guys have ever seen a depth chart, an online depth chart, this is pretty much exactly how it looks. It's basically an animated diamond with them placed at each position, the top player in the depth chart, and then the projected lineup on the left. This is exactly how Sports Illustrated used to do it. When I was subscribed to them and they would do their MLB preview, I would love those issues. I'd love them.
Yeah.
They would come once a year, about 2 or 3 weeks before the
MLB you'd always
season.
Get those, I remember. You'd always get those every time.
Yeah, they would send them, and they would have a preview of every team in the MLB. They'd have their depth chart, kind of like Robert set it up here, and then their projected lineup and their analysts talking about where they're projected. They'd have like a 2 pages on each team, half the issue, and I would sit there and read the whole thing. I loved it. Like I waited for that issue every year. Their NHL preview wasn't that good, so I waited for the baseball one pretty much every year.
Note though, I made this diamond myself. Like I didn't like copy and paste this. I made a line, rotated it, copied it, rotated it, put the other one there. Used the tool where you make a line and can stretch it around to do the curved lines.
What'd you make it in?
Put it MS Paint.
Really?
It's all in MS Paint. Yeah, I just use the line tools and the diamond tool. Drag the diamond out in the middle, and then just use the text tool. Fun fact: Nolan Ryan, Buster Posey's, no, not Buster Posey, Nolan Ryan's, our Pujols, and Dustin Pedroia's, the 2 base, like the thing where it says their position, is a different text box than their actual name because I put it was an afterthought. So little developers know. And then I just put the text in for the lineup too. The lineup's one big text box.
It looks great.
Yeah,
makes me want to do it.
I don't know. I just want to go above and beyond for one. It was fun. I'll tell you what. Actually, it was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. All right. Well, that's my team though. Pretty good team.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great, Robert. That's a good team. I like your reasonings, and there's going to be some copy overs to my team, to be completely honest.
Well, definitely. When I mean, there are some players that are just like undefined, the best in their position.
Yeah. Can you explain to people what you just did?
I screwed the pooch in this one, folks. I'll be quite honest. I'm closing tabs so that I don't have a clutter on my computer, and I forgot I was running Skype through the browser because my Skype app wouldn't open, and I closed it and ended the call. Oopsie. Was that me?
Yeah, so for the people that are listening, watching on YouTube, hi again. Hello, we just revealed Robert's team, and then Robert ended the call for some awful reason. And for the people listening on places where there isn't video, ignore that pause, I guess. I don't know what else to tell you.
Whoopsie.
Robert fucked up. Awesome. Yeah, so Robert just revealed his lineup. I guess if that was a good place as of any to pause the call, I guess.
Yeah, right? It's fine. It's opportune.
That's right. It's a lot more funny. It'll be a lot less funny when I figure out how to fix it post-edit. If you're listening to this, obviously you're like, what do you mean? Like, it's already fixed, but he just caused me a lot of fucking headache to edit this post. It's all right. All right, I got nowhere to be tomorrow, so I guess I'll just stay up all night fixing your mistake.
Whoops.
All right, so we'll get to my lineup, and then we'll discuss what else we're going to do with this. And also, Robert, another thing you screwed up for me, just to pile it on you, is I have a time at the top. timer how long it's been recording, so I have no idea how long we're recording
subtract
now.
like 3 minutes at the most.
Dude, we were recording for like 20 minutes.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't know how long our total is.
Oh. No, the last one was like 33 minutes. Add it on. Done.
All right, yeah.
It's said.
All right, so back to baseball. Robert, good lineup, actually. It was a pretty good lineup, and I'm excited
Thank you.
to do something with it. So here is my lineup. So I'll do it the way, I don't have any visuals, guys. I just wrote it on this little piece of paper here. And originally it was my phone, but I was getting frustrated with notes, so I copied it all over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do catcher around the diamond kind of deal, finishing with the pitcher, and then I'll review my lineup. All right, so starting at catcher, Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge Rodriguez, as he was known. So I got some little notes here on each player to kind of describe, like, cement why I picked them. So first I'll talk about why I picked them. Pudge, to me, as a catcher, like you said about Buster Posey, there wasn't a whole lot to pick from. I mean, there's a few throughout the years that they really stand out.
Yeah.
Like you got Johnny Bench, or Mike Piazza, or
Should have done Piazza. What am I doing?
like other catchers that are stand out. But Pudge to me was a great combination of I'm gonna hit the ball out of the ballpark and then don't try to run on me because I'm gonna throw you out. Like he was so good and like just unreal. So some facts on Pudge here: Hall of Famer. He won the 1999 MVP with the Rangers. That season, his slashes read like this: 35 home runs, he had 113 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, and he batted .332, which that's an MVP caliber season if I've ever seen one. He also tacked on in his career 14 All-Star games, 13 Gold Gloves, 7 Silver Sluggers. He won the 2003 World Series in his only season with the Marlins. He finished his career with a batting average of .297. He had 2,844 hits, which are the most ever by a catcher. Ever. Most ever hits by a catcher. 2,844. Or most ever by a catcher.
Pretty good.
And he finished his career with also 311 home runs.
How many home runs a year average? Do you know?
Did he average? No, I'm not 1,000% sure. I don't have the years that he played here. Here, let me look up.
Well,
Baseball Reference is what I use for all my stats, and they give 162 average, like what he would do in an average season. So let me just pop that up, and I'll answer your question here. It's super easy to use, guys. Like if you guys need any sort of stat ever on a baseball player, go to Baseball Reference, type in their name, they'll give you everything.
Yeah.
So
usually when you type in someone's stats on Google, it'll be the first response.
Yeah, it's the best website. So on average, he hit 20 home runs with 85 RBIs, and he batted .296.
That's solid.
That's a solid. Also, fun fact about Pudge, he also has the most putouts ever by a catcher. So basically, like, I mean, there's other ground balls where the catcher throws to first. That counts as a putout, obviously.
Yeah.
But that also means he's really good at throwing people out at second or third, throwing up and stealing.
Yeah. That's where the majority of the putouts are coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Also, another fun fact, there's tons of fun facts about this guy, apparently. During his career, he had the highest stolen base, like caught stealing percentage, like throwing out, during his whole career. 46%. He averaged 46% during his career.
That's pretty good.
Caught stealing. Yeah, it's unreal. There's not a whole lot of people over 50.
Yeah. No.
And he's good. He's good at it. So on to first. This is where we have similarity. I threw my pen by accident. Albert Pujols. I was playing with it.
Goodbye.
Freaking threw it. Albert Pujols. Like the Big Red Machine, man. When he was at the Cardinals, unreal. Yeah,
this guy was like stupid.
So this is gonna sound the longest like award. Like I kept writing down his awards, and I'm like, when does it end? Like this guy's trophy case is unreal. He's a 3-time MVP in 2005, 2008, and 2009, all for the Cardinals. He's a 10-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove, 6-time Silver Slugger. He led the league twice in home runs in 09 and 10. He was a batting champion, so highest batting average for all people that don't know, in 2003. He won the World Series twice with the Cardinals in 06 and 11, and he was also 2001 Rookie of the Year. Like,
Dude, to me, Rookie of the Year is such an impressive achievement because you only got one shot at that. So people don't get it. I'm like, dang, this guy's actually really good.
He finished his sorry, he didn't finish his career. Sorry, I'm used to saying that because most of my players are retired. He's still playing, so he's
old. So
his average right now sits at 300. He's a 300 hitter. He has 3,202 hits, which he's the active leader in hits, and he's 15th all time in hits, which is crazy. You don't really think about the power, right? But you forget this guy can hit for power and average.
Oh yeah,
he's an outstanding hitter. And he also right now has 656 home runs in his career. He had 23 last year, like I noted when you were talking about him. Mm-hmm. And so he's the active leader with that too, and he's 6th all time in MLB. This year, if they played a full season, he probably would have moved up to 5th. Like he probably would have moved up. I was doing the math. Yeah. I think he only needs like 7 home runs.
Oh yeah,
to move up, past Willie Mays at 5th. And active hits leader, if they played a season this year, I think if you got 100 hits, which is like a normal, like decent season, 100 hits.
160 games. Hit a game for like 100 games. Yeah, sounds
amazing. He would have moved up to 9th all time on that list, on the all-time hits list, passing
Paul Hall of Famer too.
Paul Malter at 10th. Pardon?
He's an easy Hall of Famer when he retires.
Oh, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
For this one, I was battling with Ortiz, and
I know, right?
So here's why I didn't pick on numbers. I mean, some of these guys are on numbers, obviously. Like they wouldn't be here without it. But I loved like David Ortiz's wow factor when he played.
Yeah.
So I was gonna pick David Ortiz until I did a little more research. He played more games at DH than he did at first. So I'm like, can I really? Like, he didn't play a whole lot at first. He's a first baseman, but he didn't play a whole lot at first base.
When it comes to defense, too, Pujols is obviously better than Ortiz.
Yeah, no, by numbers, but, like, I just loved Ortiz. So Ortiz was my first pick. I was going to pick Ortiz until I looked up. Noticed he didn't play a whole lot at first, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll go with somebody else. At second base, another Hall of Famer, Roberto Alomar.
I was going to pick him, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I love Pedroia.
Pedroia was a hard choice for me too. He was the runner-up in my top 3 I was trying to pick from. So Roberto Alomar, one of the only 2 Jays technically in the Hall of Fame. I had to pick him. I remember watching with all this with all these replays going on right now without baseball. They had the game on the other day where Alomar hit that home run off legendary closer Dennis Eckersley to extend the ALCS game. That home run to deep right field, where he hit it and he threw his arms up like this. Yeah, to tie the game. It was legendary. So he's a 12-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove, 4-time Silver Slugger. He was with the Jays in back-to-back years when they won the World Series. He finished with a 300 average. Holds the record, by the way, for highest batting average as a Blue Jay. In his 10 years as a Blue Jay, he's got the record for highest batting average. He finished with 2,724 hits and 210 home runs. Nothing to shake a stick at. Like, those are good numbers. He was more of a defensive prowess. Like, his hits were high, but he wasn't going to take you deep very often, which is what made that Dennis Eckersley home run even more
impressive.
Yeah, because he took one of the best closers pretty much of all time, deep to tie a playoff game. Like that's unreal. So he never won MVP, but I wrote down his best season here was 1999 with the Cleveland Indians. He hit 24 home runs that year, batted 120 RBIs, 37 stolen bases, and he batted .323.
That's a solid right there.
I have the reason why he didn't win MVP that year, Robert, was because of my catcher, Ivan Rodriguez. Rodriguez won the MVP that year in the American League.
That was the only year he won it, too.
Pudge, it's the only year he won MVP. So, because to me, 120 RBIs with almost 40 stolen bases and batting over 300, that's a strong MVP case.
Oh, yeah. 23 home
good.
runs also just adds on to that.
Yeah,
Which is
like
not anything like with an average like that. 23 home runs is good.
yeah, it's a solid, um, like it's a solid case.
Yeah,
So if it
because
wasn't for Pudge, he might have been a higher conversation. What?
yeah. Oh, I was gonna say for like sluggers, like just straight sluggers, you want about 30 home runs out of them. So you're only like 7 off of what just the sluggers have, and he's an average hitter. So if
Yeah,
you're only that far off of the standard for sluggers, I mean that's good.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's move to third base here. Chipper Jones, as Robert mentioned, as his second
Dude, I was
choice.
so close to picking Chipper Jones.
Dude, if you want to talk about a switch hitter with power,
Mm-hmm.
this guy could kill you from both sides of the plate. Um, Here's a theme with 1999. It was a good year. So Chipper Jones won National League MVP in 1999 with the Atlanta Braves. So I've got like the three, the three unreal players from 1999 apparently.
99 squad over here.
Yeah, he's an 8-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger. He won the 2008 batting championship, like the overall average, which is crazy to think that he won an MVP in '99 and then 9 years
Weren't
later.
you born in 99?
I was born in '98.
Fuck, I thought so. But I was like, you're 21. Never mind. Keep going.
Actually, recently 22 was my birthday. Almost a week ago now.
True. Hey, I wish you
Yeah.
happy birthday on your birthday, so you can't
Yeah,
say
you
it for
did. No. Anyways, back to baseball. And then he won the 95 World Series with the Braves as well. He finished his career with an average of 303, so a good around the. If you finished your career around that 300 mark, you were a good hitter.
Good. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Unreal hitter. He finished with 2,726 hits and 468 home runs. I just like this versatility as a player. I mean, he wasn't going to wow you with the glove. Like, he never won a gold glove, but he wasn't going to hurt you with it either. And that switching ability helps me so much. If you can,
Really good.
if you can kill from both sides of the plate, you're a big plus for me. So that MVP season, he really deserved it. 45 home runs, 110 RBIs, batted .319, along with 25 stolen bases.
Dude, if you're hitting over 30 home runs and over 300, you're just amazing. Because 30 home runs is the standard for people that hit for home runs. 300 means you're going great if you're hitting for average. You're doing both. Like, unreal. That's just, like, stupid. It's so good.
So next we move to shortstop. This was the only person that there was two people. There was two people, my pitcher and my shortstop, that as soon as I thought of the team, I'm like, it's these people. I didn't have to do research. I'm like, they're going in. Shortstop's Derek Jeter as well.
Yeah.
Like, what can you say that has never been said about Derek Jeter? 1996 Rookie of the Year. He's a 14-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, 5-time Golden Glove winner. He won the World Series 5 times. He has 5 World Series rings, which is bananas. That's part of that Yankees dynasty that rolled through and destroyed the league from like 98 to 2005. In the 2000 World Series, he was the World Series MVP, earning his nickname. I believe it was that year that he earned his nickname Mr. November. A play on words with Reggie Jackson's Mr. October. They played, I believe they played Game 7 in November 1st or something like that, and he had an unreal game. He finished his career with 310 batting average, 3,465 hits. That's the most by a shortstop, and that's 6th all time.
Jesus, yeah, that's crazy.
It's a wrecking, and 260 home runs, which again, not fantastic, but
yeah, he wasn't there to hit out of the park.
No, but I mean, and also those numbers might be a little inflated by Yankee Stadium. It was a bit of a gaslight hitter's ballpark, the old one and the new one. But like, he was still an unreal player. His best season, even though he never won MVP, his best season was '99.
Oh yeah, he never won MVP.
Because he never put up the offensive numbers, right? He never. Yeah, I don't think he ever hit over 30 home runs.
Yeah, I guess he never had that one season where he just went crazy. He just was consistently always good.
I mean, 99, like I said, best season, 99. He had 24 home runs with 102 RBIs, 19 stolen bases, and he batted .349. Like, this guy was always on base. he was always on base. He's also the Yankee leader in hits, doubles, stolen bases, on-base percentage, and games played. Like,
yeah, the guy was
Mr. Yankee. He played as a Yankee his whole career.
Mhm.
his whole career. I remember watching his final game as a Yankee. His final home game as a Yankee. He steps up in the bottom of the ninth with the winning one on second, and this motherfucker in his last at bat at Yankee Stadium wins the game with a single to right field in Derek Jeter fashion. That nice little crisp swing liner to right field, and the place went bananas, dude.
Oh yeah, of course. Like
Went nuts. Like, yeah. And his last at bats, like his last game, they announced it like the old announcer did back when he started. I can't remember the name of the old announcer. I'll get crucified for this baseball wise, but they used to announce numbers. They used to announce, like, the Yankee announcer would be like, now batting, shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2. They would always announce the name, like the number afterwards again, or something like that. And
okay. The hearing impaired in the crowd.
They replayed the announced, like, bad announcer.
Yeah.
For all of his bats that game. It was just awesome. That's awesome.
Only for him?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's actually cool.
Because that's the way it was back when he broke into the league in the early 90s, right? Or the late 90s. All right. Moving on to left field. Another Hall of Famer. When you think baseball, you think this guy, Babe Ruth. The cocaine field machine himself. And I picked for Ruth the Yankee years. I didn't want pitcher Ruth for Boston. He was a Yankee killer.
Pitcher Ruth wasn't even good. Pitcher Ruth kind of sucked.
He could still hit. I was looking at the stats.
He could hit, but as a pitcher, he wasn't even good.
No, he wasn't that great.
I don't even know why he started off as a pitcher.
Yeah, no, because he wasn't fast. He wasn't very mobile. He wasn't a good fielder by any means.
Right? So, field.
Well, because left field, your job is to not fall over yourself, right? You just gotta be out there. You don't have to have a good arm.
It's like
you don't have to have a good arm. You don't have to be fast. You just catch the ball and hit the ball. Please. Yeah, just catch the ball and hit the ball. It's funny. Another person I included in this, Mike, your dad. I got him to do a lineup as well, which I'll reveal in a little bit. And I messaged him to remind him. I said, "Hey, are you done with that lineup yet?" And his response was, "It's hard to find a left fielder that can tie his shoes, let alone hit or catch the ball."
That's what they told me.
I was dying. It's
true though. Defensively, they're not there.
No. So Ruth's stats are a little weird because you got to go era adjusted on this, because this was the days when the fields were like 200 feet and like they were played in someone's backyard. And like, you know what I mean? Like
60-mile-per-hour fastball at you.
Yeah, the good old freaking Ephus pitch was around. That was a normal pitch. And I didn't know what kind of championships they had, like what kind of awards.
Yeah, the era was so different. That's a long time ago.
So he won one MVP, in 1923. He was a 2-time All-Star and won 7 World Series.
7
World Series, I'm like, that's crazy. But looking at All-Star and like MVP, I'm like, shouldn't he have won more? Like, was this award not around for pieces?
But
or
there's
like
some other really good players around back then, actually.
He was a 12-time home run champ, so led the league in home runs 12 times. And was a batting champ once. That year that he won MVP, 1923. So here's where it gets a little loony, and you got to go era adjusted. He finished his career with an average of 342, which is 20th best all time. He finished his career with 2,873 hits and 714 home runs, which is 3rd all time. Dude, this guy was hitting 340, belting 714 home runs. Like, are you?
Dude, wait, I gotta see the home runs per year on it.
Home runs. I don't know how many years he played. You're gonna have to look up on Baseball Reference. Or I still have it open, so I can look it up here for you.
Guys, take a seat. 46 home run average. Skype this time. You see that one?
He averaged 143 RBIs. This guy was loony. All while being high on cocaine and drinking before the game and smoking cigars during the game and Times were a little
It's crazy
different.
how different the game
This
and
is
the
almost 100 years ago. This was 100 years ago, actually.
thing I find weird about that is that like their fastballs back then and the good ones are today's changeups.
Yeah, right?
It's
Like
nuts.
you got people like Garrett Cole throwing a 92-mile-an-hour slider, and people couldn't hit 92 with their fastball even if they were throwing as hard as they could back then.
Yeah. People like starters' fastballs, usually on slower side for so they can keep going for like 7 innings, are faster than their closers' heat. Like when you saw that back then, like damn, this guy has heat.
Dude, back then they used to throw 200 pitches. They used to, if a game went 16 pitches, they'd look at Babe Ruth and be like, "Dude, we got nobody else. You gotta keep throwing." They'd throw it till their arms fall off.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have reliever. It was just like, hey, you want to play a 4-hour game of baseball and pitch all of it and still hit on top of that because the DH wasn't around?
That was nuts, actually.
Like the seams were basically painted on. They had no grip on the baseball. Their bats looked like wiffle ball bats. Like I don't even know how they hit the ball out of the park. Like
Yeah, that game was wild.
oh, how far we've come. So his best year, I was looking around. It wasn't his MVP year, and it came after his MVP year, which is why I'm like, how did he not win MVP?
Someone had to.
So this is 1927. He hit 60 home runs. He batted 165 RBIs, batting 356. Like you'd win the Triple Crown with those numbers.
Oh yeah.
This year, like if you hit 60 home runs now in the game, like I can't even. I think I want to say either Stanton or Trumbo were the last 60 home run hitters.
Probably Stanton.
It's impossible. Well, Trumbo was unreal. Actually, it might have been Chris Davis. Because we're talking in their prime. Like Chris Davis was before Chris Davis just turned
my
dog
God.
poo 1 year.
What did he go hitless streak on again?
18 games.
Russell thing was like, we painted Chris Davis on this bus so it wouldn't hit anything. And I'm like, they're just doing my man dirty.
Dude, the fall off was nuts. He went from he only batted. He was your classic slugger, Chris Davis. He batted 260, but he hit the ball 500 feet without effort and hit 45 home runs a year.
Just keep it about 250 and you're fine if you're a slugger.
And then he went. I don't even know what happened to him. I can't even tell you. He just woke up one day and struck out 200 times in 1 year. I think twice, 2 years in a row, he struck out 200, and then the Orioles just took him out of the lineup every day. Like they stopped playing the guy.
At that point, you're just ruining your legacy. At that point, and he already did.
And yeah, he went that 18 game hit. It was just he just struck out. He couldn't make contact with anything. They figured him out, and he couldn't adjust. If you're not a good MLB player, if you can't adjust, you're not good. You won't, because as soon as pitcher's figured out, you're fucked.
You can't be one dimensional. It's not gonna work ever.
Pitching dominates the MLB.
Pitching's crazy.
As soon as a pitcher figures you out, you better adjust quick, or you're gonna go 18 games without a hit. You're just gonna. They have the technology that'll read. All right, cutter inside. You can't get to it, and they'll feed you 20 in a row. Like they don't care until you hit it. That's what you're getting. Like that's. All right.
It's kind of gross.
My center field is Mike Trout. Because
we already touched over Mike Trout a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll go real quick. He's won MVP 3 times in his 9-year career so far. 2014, 2016, 2019.
I think he's 1/3 of the time he's been in the league. 6 out of 9, or 3 out of 9.
2012 Rookie of the Year, was his only year he wasn't an All-Star. But he's been an All-Star ever since. 8-time All-Star, 7-time Silver Slugger. And that rookie of the year, he went 30-30. He's part of the 30-30 club, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. Not a whole lot of people do that anymore.
Because speed and power is not usually in the mixes.
His career stats don't look that impressive because he's still playing. He's still in the prime of his career. He's batting .305 with 1,324 hits and 285 home runs already. Like this guy's
9 years.
This guy's gonna be a legend.
He'll be Hall of Famer, first ballot, no question.
So last year was his best year, which is crazy. 9 years in, and he finally had his best year last year. He belted 45 home runs at 104 RBIs with only batting .290. Like he's had higher averages, but he's never had a high average when he's been hitting home runs before.
If you're hitting 40-something home runs, and you're just under 300 average, that's amazing.
It was crazy too because he was on pace for a normal year, and then the tragedy of Tyler Skaggs. Skaggs died. After Skaggs died, Trout went Super Saiyan. I think he went one stretch there. The first 9 games after Skaggs died, he hit 6 home runs and batted like 320 or something like that. Like he went off, which is good to see. Like like he did it for his friend, but dear God, like pitchers were scared of him again.
I was actually kind of sad when Skaggs died. Like that was nuts.
Yeah.
Like that was a household name kind of. You know what I mean? Everyone knew Skaggs.
And he was
like,
young.
Yeah, he just like gone. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's nuts, man.
Dude, did you hear that Alkaline died?
Yeah, I'll K-Line.
K-Line.
Yeah, Alkaline. But yeah, he died. Colby Cave actually died yesterday.
Dude, yeah.
The young kid from the
NHL.
Brain bleed overnight. Depressing times. All right. Anyways, right field. We'll get away from that topic. In right field, he normally plays center, but he's played right before, and I couldn't exclude him off this team. Ken Griffey Jr.
I would have picked him if I knew we were doing it. Oh my god. Okay. Damn it. I was gonna pick him, and I was like, I gotta pick Trout. I'm like, did he ever play right field? I don't know. I'm putting Vladimir there.
Yeah, dude. He played not a whole lot, but outfield is versatile. You know, if you play one outfield position, you can play them all three.
Yeah.
Just whether you have the tools to play all three. Like I wouldn't be putting Barry Bonds in center field anytime soon.
No.
He has like 20 speed. So Ken Griffey, he was baseball's kid. He was the face of baseball while he played. I mean, I don't think he set any records really, but he was undeniable as talent. He's been credited with saving baseball after a lockout in '94 because he burst onto the scene and just took it and ran with it. Like he was the personality, the fun guy, wearing his hat backwards in the home run derby.
Yeah.
And he always had a smile on his face, and he was the show. Like he was the show.
Yeah.
He was the guy you paid and went and saw. His play certainly backed it up, though. 1997 MVP. He's a 13-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glover, 7-time Silver Slugger. Unfortunately, never won the World Series. He's probably up there with one of the few great players that never won a World Series. His career average, 284. Not tremendous as a career average, but man, could he hit the ball. 278 one-hits and 630 home runs in his career, which is 7th all-time.
What was his average? 280?
284.
Yeah, that's still good, though. Anything over, 270 is nothing bad.
Yeah. So here's the loony part. The year he got MVP, he popped off 56 home runs, 147 RBIs, 15 stolen bases while batting .304.
Yeah, the man, pretty good.
And what a pretty swing. If you've never seen Ken Griffey's home run swing, look it up because it's just a long stride and he can just extend on anything. And it was just a quick, all one motion. A swing that I actually came across recently because of the baseball shortage, Twitter's lighting up baseball stuff, is Carlos Gonzalez. If you've ever seen Carlos Gonzalez swing a bat, look it up because it's the same thing. He's a tall, lanky guy, and he just gets those hands moving, and he whips it almost 500 feet. He belts it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now on to my pitcher, Roy Halladay is who I picked as my pitcher. Now, here I'll face a little controversy, but again, now he didn't go into a Hall of Fame as a J. He went in as a no cap. They did not pick a team for Roy Halladay. But to me, he's the second J to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, and I couldn't exclude him off of this list because of what he meant to me when he was alive and pitching as the Jays. He's the reason I watched the Jays pretty much. I watched to watch him pitch.
He was unreal.
He was crazy. So he's an 8-time All-Star, 2-time Cy Young. He threw a no-hitter and a perfect game in the same year. And he was the wins leader twice, the 2 years he won the Cy Young in 2003 and 2010. Hang on. I don't have my laptop plugged in, and it just popped up low battery. So avoid any other technical difficulties. Just give me a second.
Keep them occupied.
All right, talk about whatever.
All right, guys. guy's a dumbass. He's not gonna win. Like he thinks his team is good, but like doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. My team's so much better. It's just like I'm gonna be nice to him, like between us. I'll be nice to the kid. You know, he's in his own little world. He thinks he's got something here. I'll humor him, right? Kid's going in the dirt. My team will mop him up. It'll be a shutout probably, blowout. He'll probably go home crying. It's no biggie. Just be nice to him, okay, guys? Just show him some love, maybe send him a little email, be like, "Oh, TJ, your team's really good. I'm really proud of you, dude." It's not happening. So, just that's between us, though. Just I won't tell if you guys don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, sup, dude?
Back. What'd you talk about?
Just baseball, just about like teams and stuff.
Could you hold a podcast by yourself?
I could easily. You could just rewatch it later. It's edited a really good job. What? I'm good at it.
All right. So yeah, Roy Halladay, 2-time win leader, 03 and 10, the 2 years he won Cy Young. So for his career numbers, he had 203 wins, 105 losses. His career ERA was 3.38. Not stellar, not bad.
Average, to be honest.
Pretty good number. He had 2,117 strikeouts. And his career WHIP was 1.18, which is it's about your middle. It's a pretty solid number. So he's fun fact about him: he's 19th all time in win-loss percentage.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, for all the pitchers that have ever been in the game, he's 19th all time. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. He is one of only 2 pitchers to pitch a no-hitter or perfect game in the postseason. He was the last one, and he was the second one all time. The other one was some guy in 1956.
Wow.
So he did that in 2010 with the Phillies, as that was his very first playoff start ever. He threw a freaking no-hitter, dude.
That's crazy.
Like, that's nerves of steel.
Like, he got nerves of steel. Like, he doesn't care about pressure at all.
I watched a video on it on Facebook. It was like a documentary or a little mini series about it. And they were talking to players playing against him. Who was it that they were facing? Oh, I can't remember. Damn, I can't remember. But they were talking about facing him. Oh, it was the Mets. Because Robinson Cano was on that team. No, because Cano plays for the Mets now. Who was it? Hold on, let me do a little looking up here. It was... Okay, so his perfect game was during the season against the Marlins, and in the postseason it was a no-hitter. Against the Cincinnati Reds. Okay. Yeah, people they had other players like interviewing. They interviewed players that had to face him that night, like batting wise, and they're like he's like, those are pitches. I can't remember who it was. It was a big player at the time for the Reds, and they were Joey Votto. Joey Votto was on that team.
The red guy. So.
And he said he's like his cutter was perfect. He's like his fastball was perfect. His splitter was perfect. His curveball was perfect. He's like by my 3rd or 4th time at the plate, he said I couldn't, or his 3rd time at the plate, he's like I didn't know what this guy was going to throw me. He's like, because all the pitches were perfect.
Yeah, because usually pitchers have like 1 or 2 pitches a night they'll really anchor on. So if he has all of them, like the batter's already, he's just screwed at that point.
He's like, I would look for the cutter inside and he'd throw me the fastball and freeze me. He's like, I'd look for that breaking curveball, he'd throw me the fastball and freeze me. He's like, I'm looking for the splitter on the outside of the plate, he'd throw a cutter inside, break my bat. And he's like, I had no idea. One more fact about Holiday: his cutter. He was good before he could throw the cutter. Okay, he was good before that. He was already good with the Blue Jays early in his career, and then he got together with Mariano Rivera at an All-Star game.
Who is the number one in the Hall of Fame voting?
Yeah, Mariano Rivera is the only unanimous Hall of Fame vote ever. He's also the all-time saves leader, best closer
Coaching,
of
you're
all time.
getting. You're obviously getting good coaching if it's from him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and Mariano Rivera taught Roy Halladay how to throw a cutter, how to throw the cutter.
That has to be kind of like steroids or something. Getting tips from him on how to throw a cutter, that has to be like performance enhancing drug. Like there's no way.
Who was I? Oh, A-Rod. A-Rod was doing a thing about Roy Halladay after Roy Halladay died, sadly. And A-Rod said he was mad at Mariano Rivera for teaching him the cutter. He's like, "Do you understand what you just did?" Like the first time they faced him after, and he saw the cutter. Like they saw the cutter. A-Rod's like, "Do you understand what you just did?" Like he's like, "This is one of the best pitchers in our league," and he's like, "You just gave him another weapon to get us out on." Like, he's like, "Do you understand?" He's like, "I was already scared of facing the guy," and he's like, "When I faced him opening day after he learned the cutter, he's like, the next year, he's like, I saw it. I was like, what was that?" He's like, "I had no idea what was coming."
On any of like the books they have on him, on any of the reports.
It was opening day, right? So I guess they didn't pick it up in spring training, or
yeah, no, maybe he didn't use it in spring training. That would have been like the actual move.
Like, yeah. So yeah, there's my lineup, and then here hitting wise, I've got batting first Derek Jeter, great contact. Batting second Roberto Alomar, another great contact guy, just a little more power I find. Batting third Babe Ruth. Like, come on.
All around guy.
Batting fourth, I got Ken Griffey at cleanup. Batting fifth, Chipper Jones. Batting sixth, Mike Trout. Batting seventh, Albert Pujols. Batting eighth, Pudge. And then batting ninth, Holiday. Because Holiday wasn't a great hitter, right? Mm-hmm. So that's our teams. And the fun thing, if you stayed around this long, and I'll be posting updates about it all week, because the fun thing we're going to do is I've already built some teams, and I'm going to build Robert's team because this is the first time I've heard it, in MLB The Show. And we're going to run it, I'm going to run it tournament style, playoff style, through a gauntlet, and see what the ultimate team is. So I needed 8 teams, so I some people to help us out, build their team, give it to us. Teams, and I built everybody's team except for Robert's. And now you may be thinking, how is the game mechanics going to work? Well, I've got the only game mechanic I'm worried about is the bullpen. I can't really stop people from bringing in relievers, and I can't exactly build or bring in 99 relievers, because I don't want pitching dumbing down the game either. So basically what I've done is so in order to make sure the pitcher bats, I have created the team with a National League team. I've put the players, and if I've had to create them, I created them and looked up how to create their stats and everything. Like Derek Jeter wasn't in the game, isn't in this year's The Show. Mm-hmm. So I had to kind of bring
stats like Pujols could be worse. Aren't like player stats like Pujols and Bridgewater, aren't their stats going to be way worse than what
they have legend characters, Robert?
They have legend and Bridgewater?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They already had them, so I was able to input them really easily.
Wow.
So I put them in. So gave them each National League team. I just selected the team by like recent World Series winners or the last years, whatever National League team's been to the World Series. So I threw them on there, and I was worried about the bullpen because I'm like, I can't simulate a game and stop them from bringing in bullpen arms that are going to be like 70 overall and get fucking murdered by these lineups. They're going to get ravaged. So what I did is I went into Edit Player and edited each bullpen arm that they had. I picked all the best ones that they had, and I upped each pitching stat by 10. So K's for 9.
Stats in the bullpen been the exact same as the starting pitchers. So it's all, even if you bring in someone new, it's just like the same guy with a new face on.
With different pitches. I can't really change their pitches, yeah. But I mean, I can do that. Like that creates a little more.
No, if you can't change no point. Just might as well just.
Yeah. So I just upped like their Ks per 10 or Ks per 9, balls per 9, hits per 9 out. Like I upped all their stats by 10. So it basically ups their overall by 10.
Yeah.
It's basically the way it translated, which I'm like, that's a pretty good, like, it's enough to, because you know about like simulating a video game, it's not perfect every time.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, I ran like a quick simulation with the first two teams I created, which were mine and our Uncle Todd's. He gave us two different teams, which he created in one night, by the way. I texted him. He's like, "All right, let me see what I can come up with." And then he's like, "I've got two." I'm like, "Okay." Like, "All right, chill out." Like,
Are they two completely different teams?
yeah.
Wow.
If there's anybody I would say that knows more about baseball or that studied the history of baseball more than me and Robert that I know, it's Todd. Todd's knowledge of the history of the game, dude, it's so deep. It's crazy. It's crazy deep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's because Papa probably taught him that, and he knew a lot before, memory and stuff. But he knew a lot about baseball.
No, he did. He did. They're students of the game, you could say. I guess they knew.
A family thing, eh?
So I ran a simulation. It didn't work out perfect. Like I think Babe Ruth went like 0-4, and I'm like, the fuck.
Unlucky.
Like I have you here to hit. You know what I mean? So it's like there's things. So even if you're facing an 85 overall arm, it doesn't mean he's gonna get roughed up. Like if he comes in for one inning, he can have 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And I like how the game kind of interprets that. So I think that was a pretty good fix for it. As far as seeding, I'll work that out with you off of the podcast, and I'm going to post it. I'm going to post updates throughout the week on our Instagram, OFS_podcast, and Twitter. If you guys can follow along, and then we'll talk about the results next episode, just to kind of get a good feeling, like just so I can release final results is the words I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'll run through the teams without any explanation for other people. So the people we have playing are Todd with his two teams. For his two teams, he made an 80s to now team and a before the 80s team.
Okay.
Gotta be honest. Is Skype lagging a little bit? Yeah, guys. Sorry if the audio quality is really bad.
Oh, we're good. We're back to normal. It's fine.
Sorry if the audio quality is really bad. If you're listening and you're new, we're on Skype. That's the only way we can do this, like self-isolation style. So we're just it's the way it works. So we have Dale, Mike, your father. We got him playing. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. My buddy Ben. Longtime friend, huge baseball fan as well. I've got his team. And then, so that's 7 teams, including me and you. And I couldn't really figure out how to do an 8th one for our tournament style. So I'm like, hey, why don't I just pick up the best rated players, like now players in the show, and make a team out of it.
Okay, yeah.
Excluding Mike Trout. I'll be like the ones that aren't picked.
Mm.
Right? So I've got those. So the teams are, here's Todd's 80s to now team. We got Ricky Henderson playing outfield, batting first. Alomar at second, batting second. Alex Rodriguez playing shortstop. So this is Alex Rodriguez from the Texas Rangers. So this is young Alex Rodriguez. Ken Griffey playing outfield, batting fourth. George Brett at third. He was a great, unreal Royals hitter. Mike Trout, outfield, batting sixth. Pools batting seventh. Pudge batting eighth. And Roger Clemens as the pitcher.
Oh, man.
Batting ninth. Roger Clemens was a strikeout machine. He was the Garrett Cole of early 2000s. Like, he just struck out a billion people. It's crazy.
Right.
So his before the 80s team is Ty Cobb in the outfield, batting first. Jackie Robinson batting second, playing second. Babe Ruth at pitcher. So pitcher.
I was picking for a second too, by the way. I was this close. I didn't. So anyway, keep going. Just thought. I almost picked him.
Babe Ruth as pitcher, batting third. Lou Gehrig at first, batting fourth. Mickey Mantle, outfield, batting fifth. Willie Mays, sixth, batting or playing outfield as well?
No, Willie Mays played baseball, went to war, and came back and kept playing baseball. That's nuts.
So Gordie Howe did that too for hockey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Gordie Howe that went to war. Honest Wagner, shortstop. You want to talk about an old name? It's like 1900s, like
that is
the 1900s, like 1905. Eddie Matthews batting third, or playing third, batting eighth, and Johnny Bench as catcher. So that's his team, Team Z. And then we move on to Mike's team.
This team. I don't know what's going on with this team. Yeah, I think he picked players more he likes. He picked a lot of players that he just likes.
That's kind of the way I tried to pick my team. I don't have a batting. I realize I don't have a batting lineup for this one. I just have the players, but I'll post all the details on our Instagram, possibly tomorrow or the next day.
I don't think he cares about winning. I think he's wanted to like make a fun team over a winning team. Because
hey, this is a good team, man. This is a good team.
It's a decent team.
So at pitcher we got Madison Bumgarner. I posted his stats because they didn't have legend Madison Bumgarner. He was unreal in his prime, and he could take you deep. He had like 7 home runs one year, because fuck it.
Yeah.
Guy was good. One year, I think 2015, 2016, he hit 2 home runs on opening day. One in his first at bat, and then another one in the 7th inning to take the lead against the Diamondbacks.
He was a good hitter.
This guy, yeah. And he was a good pitcher. At catcher, we have Yadier Molina. They had a legend card.
Oh, never mind. What I'm saying was like he's retired.
He's not that good anymore.
No, but like
catcher Yadier Molina. Yadier is still a good catcher now, but they had a legend of Yadier Molina in his prime on MLB The Show, so that's who I have slotted in. At first, we have John Olerud, Blue Jays legend. He was part of the World Series winning teams. Great first baseman. At second, we have Dustin Pedroia, Laser Show. At third, we have A-Rod, so the Yankee A-Rod.
we have the same thing.
Shortstop, we got Jeter. You guys got the same, like, second, third short. Yeah, you got left field, he has Vladimir Sr. Center field is Mike Trout, and right field he has Jose Bautista.
That one confused me. He's a great player, but is he best of all time?
Dude, he carried the Blue Jays on his back for a long time, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I mean,
Right.
Here's how I made Jose Bautista, Robert. Do you remember that 90s? Yeah, because he's not in the game. Do you remember that 97 overall diamond card they had for Diamond Dynasty?
That's what you.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't go to 100, so I downplayed it to like 92 or something like that. Whatever stat was over 100, I just downplayed it by like 15. Because I'm like, hey, you can't have 99 everything. But like,
that's what Babe Ruth is.